Welcome back to my bracelet channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make this type of bracelet where you have these X's and these diamonds. Super simple, only 3 colors and 8 strings. So let's get started. I have my 3 different colors. I have DMC 726, 3713, and this is Loops and Thread brand 720. Since we have 3 colors and 10 strings total, we're going to have 2 of one color, 2 of another color, and then 4 of the third color. The one that is going to have 4 strings is, in this example, the dark blue, so it's going to be the one around here, and then the ones outlining the X. So for me, I want that to be my orange. So I'm going to start with my orange, and I'm going to pull out a wingspan length. So I'm going to put the string in my fingers on this hand and then pull it out along my arm and then across my chest to my other arm. And then once I have this string measured, I can just line up my next one right up with that. And this will be my second string. And then now that I have these 2, I'm just going to do 1 of each of these. So for me, the pink and yellow will be the light blue and the white in this one. All right, so now you should have 4 strings with 1 of 2 of the colors and then 2 of the third color. So now I'm going to take these ends and line these ends up, and then I'm going to pull out to the other side, which should now be a loop up here. And then I'm going to tie a knot, so I'm going to wrap it around my 2 fingers and then back up through the center of that. And I would like to leave about like 4 fingers length for ties at the end. I have a video on different ties and like different ways to end your bracelets to tie them on. I'll have that linked in the description. But now we're gonna tape our bracelets down and we'll get started. All right, so now I'm gonna split my strings so that they're equal on each side. So I'm gonna have 2 oranges, 1 yellow and 1 pink on each side. When you line up your strings, you should have the yellow and then orange and then pink and then orange. If you're doing other colors, just make sure that the oranges are in between the other 2 colors. But I'm going to start on the far right side, and I'm going to take the yellow and do a forward knot over the orange. So I'm going to make a 4 across this way and then reach through and pull that through that hole up to the top, and then every knot is done twice, so we'll do that one more time and then up to the top. And I have a video on basic knots that goes over these knots more in depth if you need to use that. And then I'm going to take the next one, which for me is pink, and I'm going to do another forward knot, so cross this way and then pull it up through the hole, across again, and up. And then finally on the orange, I'll do 1 more forward knot. Now I'm done with this side. I'm going to go to the far left side, take my yellow over here, and I'm going to do a backward knot. So do across this way, pull it through and up, across, pull it through and up. Then I'm going to take my pink and I'll do a backward knot over the pink. Then I'm going to take the orange and do a backward knot over the orange. And then finally, I'm going to take my 2 yellows in the middle, and I'm going to use the one on the right, and I'm going to do a backward knot over the yellow, so this will join them in the center. And this is the same start as the chevron bracelet, which I also have tutorials for if you'd like to watch those. And then now we're gonna go back out to the left side, and we're gonna do kind of that same thing with the orange. So we're gonna start over here, and I'm gonna do a forward knot. And then I'm gonna take the next orange and go over that one. And then I will do another knot, another forward knot over the yellow. Now I'm going to go to the right side and I'm going to pick out the orange and the pink. And I'm going to do a backwards knot over the pink. Then I do another one over the orange. Then I'm going to do another one over the yellow. And then finally, I will do one more with the two oranges in the center. Now I'm going to do another chevron, and this is with the pink, so I'm going to come back to the left side, do the same thing that I've been doing. So I'm going to start with a forward knot over the orange, and then a forward knot over the yellow, forward over the orange. I'm going to stop here, go to the right side, and I'm going to pick out the pink and then the first orange, and I'm going to do a backward knot. And then I'm going to do backward knot over this orange, and then finally I will do backward knot with the right pink over the left pink. Now we're going to go back to the left side, and I'm going to do one forward knot with the orange over the yellow. Now this is a bit different. I'm going to do a forward backward knot. So the first part of the knot I will do forward over the orange, and then the second part I'm going to switch it to this right hand and I'm going to do a backward knot. So we're going to come back this way, and then I'm going to do a backward knot with this orange, oh my gosh, over the yellow. Now I'm going to come back to the center, and I'm going to take the pink and do a backward knot over this orange, backward knot over yellow, and then backward knot over orange. And that is the first part of the X of this bracelet. So now we're going to do the opposite thing on the right side. So for this one, I'm going to do a backward knot on yellow, and then a backward forward knot on the orange, and then a forward knot with this orange onto the yellow. Then I'll come back to the center, grab the pink, and then I'm going to do 3 backward knots, or I'm going to do 3 forward knots with the pink onto the orange, and then the yellow, and then the orange. Now I'm going to go back to the center again. Now I'm going to go back to the center and grab my 2 oranges. And so we're going to do a backward knot with the right orange over the left orange. Then I'm going to do a backward knot over the yellow, then backward over the orange, So the one on the end here will be a backward forward knot. Come back to the middle, grab the other orange here, and I'm going to do forward knots over the yellow, orange. And then the one on the very edge will be a forward backward. And now I'm going to go back to the center again and grab the 2 yellows, and I'm going to do a backward knot with the right yellow over the left. Now I'm going to do a backward forward with the yellow over the orange. So the first part of the knot will be backward this way, and then we'll flip it, and then this part will be forward. I'm going to grab the other yellow and the orange next to it, and this one will be a forward backward. So the first part of the knot will be forward, and then second part is backward, and then I'm going to do a backward knot with this yellow over the other one to complete that little square in the middle. All right, and now I'm going to go back to the left side and grab these 2 oranges, and I'm going to do a forward knot over the orange, and then forward knot over one of the yellows. Then I'm going to go to the right side, grab my 2 oranges, and then do a backward knot, one of the oranges, backward knot over the yellow, and then finally backward knot in the center with the 2 oranges. I'm going to go to the left side and do 3 forward knots with the pink. So 1 over orange, 1 over yellow, and then 1 more over orange. Then I'm going to go to the right side and do 3 backward knots with the pink, 1 over orange, then yellow, then orange again, and then in the center I'm going to join those with a backward knot. Now we're going to do that same little orange triangle here like we did before. So I'm going to come to the left side and I'm going to do a forward knot, and then a forward backward knot, then a backward knot. Then I'll grab the pink from the center, and this orange, I'm going to do 3 backward knots to the edge. I'm going to go to the right side and grab the orange from the outer edge. I'm going to do a forward knot, then a forward backward knot, and then I'm going to do a backward knot, then a backward forward knot, and then a forward knot. I'm going to come to the center, grab my pink, and then I'm going to do 3 forward knots to the edge. Now I'm going to come back to the center again and grab my 2 oranges, and I'm going to do a backward knot with the 2, and then I'm going to do 3 more backward knots over these 3 to the edge. come back to the center again, and I'm going to do 3 forward knots this way to the edge. I'm going to come to the center again, and I'm going to do a backward knot with the 2 yellows. And then I'm going to do 2 backward knots, one over the orange, one over the pink. All right. And then I'm going to do a backward knot on the edge. I'm going to come back to the center, and I'm going to do 2 forward knots over the orange and the pink. And then 1 more forward knot with the yellow off the edge. Now I'm going to come back to the center again and do a backward knot with the oranges. And then another backward knot onto pink. And then another backward knot with the orange. I'm going to come back to this orange, do a forward knot onto the pink, forward knot onto orange, and then in the center I'm going to do a forward knot with the pinks. Now I'm going to grab the pink on the left side and the orange right next to it, and I'm going to do a forward knot with the orange over pink. Then I'm going to grab the other pink and the orange to the right of it, and I'm going to do a backward knot, orange over pink. And then another backward knot with this orange over the other. Now I'm going to come to the left side and get the yellow, and I'm going to do a forward knot onto the orange, and then a forward backward knot on the pink, and then a backward knot onto the orange, and do the opposite thing on the right side. So I'm going to start with a backward knot, and then a backward forward knot onto the pink, and then a forward knot onto the orange. Then I come back to the middle and then grab the orange here on in the center, and then the pink, I'm going to do a backward knot, and then 1 more backward knot, I'm going to come back to the center, grab the orange and the pink on the right side, I'm going to do 2 forward knots, I'm going to grab the 2 pinks in the center and do a forward knot. I'm going to grab the orange to the left of the pink and I'll do a forward knot. Now I'm going to grab the orange to the right of this pink and do a backward knot. And then I will do 1 more backward knot onto the other orange, joining those 2 together. Now we're going to do this little yellow triangle thing like we did above. So I'm going to grab the yellow and the orange on this side, and I'm going to do a forward knot, then a forward backward knot, then a backward knot, Then I'm going to go to the right side and do a backward knot. Then a backward forward knot. Then a forward knot. Start with a backward knot. Then we come back to the center again, take the orange and the pink on the left side, and I'm going to do two backward knots, one onto pink and then one onto orange. I'm going to go to the right side, take the orange and the pink over here, do a forward knot, and then another forward knot, then with the two pinks in the center, do a forward knot. Take the orange to the left of this pink and I'll do a forward knot. Then I'll take the orange to the right of the other pink and I'll do a backward knot. And then backward knot to join those oranges. Then we're going to come to the left side and we're going to close off this little diamond pattern. So I'm going to take the yellow and I'm going to do 3 forward knots over the orange, over the pink here, and then over the orange again. And then on the right side, I'll do 3 backward knots with the yellow again. So one over orange, one over pink, one over orange, and then I will do one more to join the 2 yellows in the center here. And this bottom yellow V that we just did right here is the same one as up here. So the pattern is just going to repeat itself after this, so it's just going to do another chunk. So in this bracelet, I repeated it another time and then started another time and then decided that it was long enough, so that's when I tied the knot. But yeah, you're just going to keep going with this pattern however long you would like to make it, and I'll put the timestamp of the video of where I started the next row, which in this case you would be starting with this orange V right here with these oranges on the edges here. But yeah, if you have any questions about this bracelet, please comment them down below. I'll respond down there. You can also check out my Instagram at Island Bracelets Co. Have a great day.